welcome to today's plant vlog, a little update on the garden. Some things have changed. Starting up with the seedlings. Honestly, nothing's really happening with them. Plant's gonna plant. And shelf 2, we've got some microgreens today. We have 2 sets of microgreens here that I started last week, and we wanted to do an experiment. So the experiment was what really happens when you cover microgreens. So the conventional wisdom is to cover microgreens so that the first couple of days they're in darkness. I think we did about 4 or 5 days for these broccoli ones, and we didn't do much with these ones. So like as soon as they were sprouted, I took the cover and foil off, and I think you can tell there's a pretty significant difference between the 2 trays. And these are started at the same time with the same coconut core, same seeds, and it's pretty startling, to be honest. So pro tip, cover your microgreens. Shelf 3, pretty significant difference as well. So I've moved a lot of the herbs to what is going to be a deep water culture setup as soon as I get this aquarium line hooked up today. There is one dill that I totally murdered. I was hoping it would perk up a little bit in the deep water culture, but essentially I let the jar run dry. So my own fault, and I'm gonna have to deal with this today before the roots start to rot, but the dill is dried pretty nicely, so I'm still gonna try to keep this dill, make sure it's completely dried, and then still use it. The mushrooms, these are just a week old, and I'm gonna harvest some today, probably for dinner. They are a little dry around the edges, and honestly, again, my fault, not the fault of the mushrooms. I didn't mist them quite enough, so with the second flush, I am gonna be more diligent with misting these bad boys. We've only got 4 of the tomatoes not in jars yet, and to be honest, I'm genuinely surprised that this one has a little poke of roots through it. I honestly thought they were all gonna die, so I am very surprised that out of the 9 cuttings that I made, I have, oh my gosh, 6 that are, oh, I made 10 cuttings? Yes, I did. I have 6 that are in jars, all the roots like have come through, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 5. Girl's gotta, get her coffee before she counts. And with this new one poking through, yeah, 6. Honestly, that's more than I thought I was gonna get, so I'm just relatively thankful for that. The tomatoes are starting to get their new leaves in. I'm very jazzed about that. I think this light is too far off for them, so probably what's gonna happen today is I'm gonna get some help, and we're gonna lower this light a little bit and lower this shelf, because on shelf 3 down here, the lettuce is getting a little bit leggy. We pretty much harvested all of this a couple days ago, had a really big salad. We're gonna have to eat the Swiss chard tonight because she's getting big. I moved the tomatoes down here and found out I was underfeeding them a wee bit with nutrient solution, so that was embarrassing. But ever since I changed the nutrient solution over to the proper ratio, like it's supposed to be 2 teaspoons of each formula instead of 1.5, they seem to be doing better. And what was really exciting was this jalapeno plant. It is gotten way too big for the shelf. It blossomed a bunch this week. I think 4 blossoms have opened on one plant. This is the oldest blossom here, and I'm hoping that because it looks so wilted, now. That means there's a little jalapeno that's going to come through. This isn't quite enough light for it, but it's the best I can do right this second. I'm going to have to fix that because honestly, like, this one bulb isn't enough for these 3 plants. So I don't know whether I'm just going to put them outside for the day while I figure it out or what have you, but there does need to be a little bit more light. I also harvested the basil, and we made some pretty amazing pesto, so I'm probably going to start a bunch of more basil plants so that can be a regular thing. Also, something I realized I haven't really chatted about was this little Aero Garden. I got it off a lady on, I think, Marketplace or Kijiji back in March, and this was kind of the thing that started this whole gardening shenanigans. I saw one for sale used. I really wanted to try it out, and the lady warned me, you know, when you start, you know, using it and growing stuff and planting it, you're gonna get obsessed and like expand your garden a zillion times. She said you're gonna buy a zillion Aero Gardens, but instead I just bought hydroponic racks and such. So in here we've got some strawberries. There was some lettuce in here earlier, and I'm hoping we're gonna have delicious strawberries within, honestly, it's gonna be a while. So like 3 months, say 3 months, hopefully. I've started all 6 pods, even though I know that's gonna be way too much crowding for the little machine. I'm probably gonna only have 3 plants in here, but once these like strawberries are able to come out of the little dome, then I'm just gonna choose the 3 best ones to stay in here and move the other 2 to jars and see what happens. And yeah, that's it for the garden update. This week is pretty quick. I did have to do like a lot of work on it a couple days ago, just because plants needed to drink and plants got way too big. So yeah, see you next week.